Good morning and welcome to Pippa 2025. Today we're joined by the wonderful Samantha Lydon. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for joining us in the pod. And Jess Williams. Good morning.
Thanks for having me, Pip.
Good. I'm so excited. It's my first ever Bieber this year, but you two, seasoned pros, right? So I'm up for some tips and tricks and let me know what the crack is. Yeah? So we are, 2 hours in to doors open. What's the feeling of the year?
It's already so busy, isn't it? Like, we come in with big plans of doing things in the morning.
Yeah.
While it's quiet.
You're like calm, scheduled. We've got our act together.
Yeah, we'll get our TikToks done before it gets too busy.
Yep.
Within about 10 minutes of those doors opening, it's busy everywhere.
It's rammed already and there's still brokers queuing out the front. So I think there's about 10,000 brokers that are coming, but
Wow.
there feels like there's a lot more. So yeah, compared to last year, much busier, which is good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the sunshine, that rare breed of sunshine that you get in Manchester and all of a sudden everybody flocks out the doors. But I'm feeling that as well. It's got a wonderful buzz. There's lots of conversations, lots of people crossing in the corridors, shaking hands, going, hi, I've not seen you for ages. It's really nice to see that side of things.
Yeah, I overheard someone describing Bieber last year as like a school reunion, but only with all the colleagues you've ever worked with, of all the places that you never get to see them all coming together at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that really sums it up well.
Yeah, very much so. We were having a different conversation yesterday while we were preparing, and there was a client and an underwriter, and they said, we've known each other for 35 years. And you're just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is
It's what
something
it's
to
all
be
about,
part
right?
of. Yeah. You join it forever. So is there anyone particular you guys are looking forward to seeing other than the famous unicorns, which I've already failed at winning at?
Gareth Southgate would be a win if I can see Gareth Southgate. I'd be very keen to do that. Definitely get into his talk, but yeah, hopefully we can get him a unicorn. We can dream.
Yeah, that'd be so good, wouldn't it? Jess would be jealous.
I'd be very jealous.
How many years have you tried to win a unicorn?
Every year I've had them and I never seem to win. I always end up falling. I think I managed to get the unicorn stress ball last year, which takes prime place on my desk at home. But yeah, no, I've always won a plushie for somebody else. I never win enough to keep one for myself.
You are guaranteed a win if you take a photo in our peers style.
Oh, you're doing that
unicorn.
again this year?
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's no excuse.
I'll
Just
do
see
that.
The LinkedIn post.
Anything for LinkedIn content, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Know where I'm going next.
Yeah, straight after this, we're back there. Cool. So the theme of our podcast over the next couple of days is Better Together. And I just want to kind of take a bit of a deep dive into that and to the context of our industry and the new generation that we're training up and bringing in, the partnerships that the various brokerages and insurance carriers have. What are you guys' thoughts on Better Together?
Well, I think we're an industry of collaboration, and we see that through sort of subscription style market, but also like the amount of knowledge that we have and we need to share across the industry. We're always working together, and I always kind of like when you ask people what they like about the industry, everyone always says the people. But there's, I think, a really unique thing that we have in our industry where what we sell is trust. We just sell a promise. So you have to have those relationships with the people you're dealing with to be able to get the deals done. And that really just means that we do need to always be working together and enjoying each other's company, because we do spend a lot of time with each other.
Third of the day, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Jess?
I think from the marketing side of things, like what Sam said, there's that trust, right? And in terms of people you'd want to meet at the conference, we don't get much time to actually collaborate with marketers at other brokerages and being able to help sell what we sell to clients and to brokers from a Markel perspective, but what they can actually offer on to their clients as well. It's a really good time to just catch up and help them understand what we can do for each other.
Yeah. How do you want to be informed of the various things? How do you want to consume it? How do you want to then relay it back out to your clients? Those are all kind of things that we need to know, right?
Yeah,
it's all about format.
Because people always think about the brokers, the underwriters, the claims people, but obviously Bieber doesn't happen, right, without the marketing team. So if you don't get the opportunity to go marketer to marketer to talk about the different things that you're doing and actually get that opportunity to collaborate together, there's so many different partnerships that can be formed from that. So I'm definitely excited to see what we can do from our side definitely this year.
Yeah. And insurance isn't just underwriting and claims, right?
Yeah,
There's so
exactly.
many other roles out there. Yeah. Nice. One word to sum it up then. I think I've got a guess. What would you both say?
Sum up Bieber.
No, sum up the partnership, the being together.
Trust, I think, for me.
I wondered if you'd say
Yeah.
that one.
Intuition.
Ooh. Nice. Why so?
I think obviously trust is one thing, but I feel like trust is based on intuition sometimes, because I think you can try and trust somebody, but if you've not got the right information to trust them,
The gut
gut
feeling.
feel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, like you said, it's done on a promise, right? And everyone's been in a position where you're like, you told me you promised, but I don't quite believe you.
Yeah.
It's giving those trust signals to actually get somebody to believe you and trust it. So yeah, a little gut feeling.
Yeah, you only get that in person.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think someone said to me the other day, they said, it's not just about putting a pretty picture of a dog up next to the product name of your dog food that you're selling anymore. They want to know the story that's gone behind it, the nutritionists that you've had on board to build that special recipe. And people want to know that. They want that integrity. And
they need to
want
know
that
why
honesty.
they need to trust you, don't they? It's like, obviously you can say one thing, they can take you at face value and take you for your word, but I don't think, especially in today's day and age when you can get everything at the click of the finger, people need to see why they need to trust you. Yeah, look in the white of your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Very much
They need to be looked through the window. We don't mind the pun of the pod.
Yeah.
Okay? People want to see what's going on behind and kind of feel like there's more of a connection there. Like we feel that so much, especially this year. I was saying to you before we got started, but the amount of people that are coming up saying, oh, follow your TikToks this year. I think I've already had more people in the hour and a half say that so far today than we would have even last year.
Yeah.
So people are really looking to get to know what's going on and appreciating that kind of content and openness that's been put out there by companies.
Yeah, you don't have to be in the club to know the conversations anymore.
Yeah.
You can go out and find it for yourself.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about TikToks, the new generation, training. We're all very keen on the recruitment side of things and making sure we've got that new wave of enthusiasm coming through into the industry. So if we're looking at skills and maybe that checklist of your CV of what you'd need to join, what are the skills gaps do you think that we're missing?
So I'd look at it two sides really. You got the kind of technical and then the softer skills. And when I say technical, I don't think the industry expects people to know a lot about insurance. And I'm pleased about that because that used to give an advantage for people that could get work experience and a disadvantage for those that couldn't. What you do need to be able to demonstrate though is why insurance. So when you're looking at all the different career options available, if you're applying for an insurance role, then the recruiter understanding that is something you're deliberately doing and you've thought about, that's really valuable.
No.
So that technical knowledge in terms of demonstrating your interest, and whether that be sort of completing some free online courses that are available throughout the market, whether it's listening to podcasts like this, making sure that's demonstrated on your CV so it looks purposeful in the applications you're putting forward. And then the softer side, it's so much around communication and projecting that confidence. So people have different levels of confidence, but we need to be able to make sure that when you're turning up for an interview, you're able to show the best version of yourself. And we really kind of make sure that where we help people when they're looking for a role, we give them those opportunities so they're not so far outside their comfort zone by the time they're coming into a big shiny building and putting on a suit to something that's quite unusual for them.
Yeah.
But instead there's some kind of familiarity in that process or that environment for them. So as much as they're outside their comfort zone, they're able to articulate themselves in an interview and show what their interest is.
Yeah. Would you say the same?
Definitely agree. I think especially on the hunger and the curiosity to learn is really important in insurance. Like you said, most people don't have an insurance background or they don't know too much about it. It's changing a lot and we talk about this all the time, right? Like you have to want to know. It's not just a case of you have to know, you want to know, because the insurance market is changing all the time. The products are changing, the risks are changing. Biba's theme, new era. I feel like on a weekly basis, whether it's in digital, whether it's marketing, whether it's just generally what's going on in the world, it's something new all the time. And with that as well, on the soft skills side of things, with the way that like working patterns and stuff have changed as well, it's really hard, I think, for people. Like we were talking about it at the dinner last night. Like you've got some people that just want to work from home all the time. You've got some people that want to be in the office all the time. But I joined Markel, as you know, during lockdown. 2 years we've not seen anybody. I think it's different when everybody's at home together, but like Biba, you just get such a different relationship when you're with people in the office. It makes it a lot easier for people to learn. So that kind of willingness for a little bit of flexibility, I think, as well is really important. Otherwise it's tough to get up to speed, or you're just doing online courses and podcasts and stuff. You need to hear what's going on in the office. You need to overhear underwriters, claims calls, helpline calls, and it's those little bits that
kind of knit it all together.
Yeah, like your ears just prick up in the office, and you're like, oh, that's interesting.
That's what that acronym means.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Yeah. I think you're completely right. We said earlier on today, didn't we? You sometimes see graduates coming out and wonderful theory skills, absolutely brilliant acumen. And then you say, okay, we need to get a meeting with 17 different people in 5 different locations, figure out a calendar, and simple practical things like that can be completely terrifying.
They just never have the exposure to it.
Exactly,
did they?
they've never
And
had
that's the
to.
thing.
So there's things like that about working in the office, but then there's also the benefits, and I'm absolutely an advocate for you being in control of your life, that work-life balance, and that actually working at home as a mum with 2 young kids, or, you know, people that have got other activities on, saving that 2-hour commute every day. Free time, bonus time, you know, I actually get home for bedtime or get to go to the gym without coming back really late. So there is that wonderful balance. But I completely agree with you both that you can teach insurance, but you can't teach passion and fire and that sort of drive to find out what you want to do.
So there's I think sometimes a mismatch between that balance becomes really helpful for you at certain stages in your life, especially when maybe you've moved a little bit further out of London, maybe you've got kids.
Yeah.
But when you're a new person coming into the industry, if you're coming in to learn from other people, you need people in that you can learn from. Yeah. So I think we need to be honest with people about how much more they will probably learn if they're in the office, but they also need the people around them to overhear those conversations to be able to get that. And I think flexibility is brilliant, but we need to kind of set a bit of an expectation on how much will get you how far at what pace, because if you have got really ambitious people and you're saying, don't worry, you can do whatever you want, and a year down the line they're thinking, oh, maybe I would have benefited if I came in the office more. We need to be honest about kind of giving that advice and not being afraid that might put somebody off a role or make it look inconvenient, because we have to be hearing it in things like the calendar. If you were sat at home on your own, you would probably overthink that and panic about it and spend hours worrying that you're going to mess it up. But if you're in the office sat next to somebody, they could show you that in 5 minutes. So there's so much more opportunity if we're all in together. Yeah,
completely agree. And it's just that, I think, setting expectations, like you say, that we have a perception of something that we may want to do or an idea of working patterns, but then actually the pros and cons, like, well, if we do this for a few years, you're going to learn 10 years worth of stuff in half the time, and then the world's your lobster sort of thing.
It's just doing those hard things at the start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at like some of the stuff that we did recently, obviously we went out to Nashville, I did night school, we've been working very long hours getting stuff done, but if you want to get somewhere, you have to do those things. Like, you can't always expect to just coast along and just be given it. Like, you got to work hard and you've got to get it. And I think a lot of the time people don't quite realise that. There's a bit of a misconception that, okay, you turn up, you do your job, get massive promotion. It just doesn't work like that.
Got to hustle, girls.
Hustle hard.
Yeah, be hungry for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So skills, we talked very much about practical, tactical, go on courses, absorb as much information as you can that's relevant to why you want to be in an industry like ours. Then we talk about the softer side of things, which I think is a hard thing to pick up, and mentorship and networking programs and things like that are really great for that. Do you think, as a consequence of that lack of understanding of the balance of those two skills, that's why we're potentially struggling to find a younger generation? Or do you think we're on the kind of crest of that wave now and that we've actually got some momentum?
Yeah, I don't think we're struggling anymore. And I know there will be people that hear that and think, well, how on earth can you say that? I get messages every single day from people who are desperately looking for a job in insurance, and it's a very diverse, wide pool of people. We've got 30,000 people following us on TikTok now. We have people coming through our Into Insurance course, which is a free course we run every single month, sponsored by the Washable Company of Insurers Charitable Trust, and that's helped 200 people find a job in insurance. If you have an entry-level role in insurance, we will share it on our TikTok for free. We just want to get those jobs out there, because the challenge that we're actually seeing is the talent is there and the jobs are there.
Yeah.
And pairing the two up,
that's the bridge.
trick you get. Yeah. So I think with grad schemes, apprenticeship schemes, companies are doing really well because those roles are advertised for quite some time. There's good processes there. the issue I often see is when those roles come up, usually an entry role, somebody's left or someone's been promoted, there's a seat to fill ASAP. And because it's ASAP, you kind of just go out to the channels of, do you know anyone? Hey,
Yeah.
And that's where we can really be helping by you just give us the role and we'll pop it out on our TikTok every single week and then help connect people with those individuals, because I promise you there is not a shortage of good talent that are interested in insurance anymore.
Sounds brilliant. We've got a conversation to have.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it is the difference, isn't it, between the job spec and the talent? Because like you said, like people don't have that insurance knowledge. I think we always expect, there's all those different biases, isn't there, when you're hiring? You either hire like a like for like, or you have a kind of preconceived conception of what you need for that role. But if you've got somebody that's moldable, that's fresh, you can teach them about the company, you can teach them the things that you want them to know. It goes back to what you're saying. You need the people in the office, both sides, or the mentorship or the courses to get them on that path. You can't just kind of chuck people in at the deep end and expect them to float, swim or fly, because they're probably gonna sink. Like, there's only so much they can do on their own, and we just need to give the time to those people to get them up. And everybody's busy, everyone's time poor, but you just have to make the time, and then you'll get award-winning talent, hopefully.
Yeah. Is it a Stephen Bartlett quote that we were talking about the other day? They spend 5 years investing in training and mentoring someone, and the rewards we reap back for yourself, them, the company for a lifetime.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It's absolutely worth it. Yeah. We answered our own question next. How do we promote the roles that we've got coming up? And so let's shift then to a little bit about structures and mentoring and that flexible working as a kind of final stance. If people are seeking mentorship, that's quite a difficult thing for someone who's never been in that situation before to say, I would love to learn from someone, but I'm supposed to come in with a direction of exactly what I want to learn from them. Or then on the flip side, for someone who's keen to mentor, you say, well, where do we start? You know, I could talk to you for hours, but is it actually going to be useful and structured? Have you got any tips and courses that you could point us to?
So two different areas there, I'd say. If you're looking to mentor, there are lots of mentoring schemes across the industry, but there's a couple that we have. So with Into Insurance, once people have done that course, we pair them up with a mentor. They can meet them 3 times. So if you want to volunteer to be a mentor, you can just get in touch with us. We'll put you on that platform. We'll match you with people that are sort of suitable for your skills and where you want to help. But we also have a networking group called Springboard. And the purpose of Springboard, it's to connect people to the other networking groups. There are so many brilliant networking opportunities in the industry, across the institutes and lots of different areas. Finding those can be quite tricky. So where we meet so many graduates and so many apprentices, we run these events for people who are in their very first job. And then we send out a newsletter every month promoting other events so we can springboard them to other networking. So Markel actually hosting one for us in the summer. But we do speed mentoring events with those ones as well. So if you are an individual or a mentor and you want to get in touch and find out about those, then absolutely do. I know I can do a huge amount of mentoring events as well. And I win. So there's lots of opportunities out there. But also just to kind of the word mentoring, hone in on that a little bit, because that comes with a sort of title and responsibility and formality, which you don't always need. So mentoring is just people giving advice. So if you are an individual who wants somebody to be your mentor, so go to them and ask them to be your mentor, can be quite flattering. The person might be like, yes, of course, but it also can sound like quite a commitment. And they're like, oh, I'm not sure how much I can commit to you.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a sensible thing. If you see somebody that you think, they're wise, you want to learn from them, you say, I really find it inspiring, spend time with you. If you've got time just to go for a coffee with me or a virtual conversation with me at some point, as long as time isn't urgent, as long as you're not saying like next week, then usually people will make the time and set that up for one conversation. And if it turns into more, amazing. But if you kind of go out with that kind of, will you be my mentor title, then that can sometimes be a higher expectation on the individual.
Weight, doesn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, obligation sometimes with it, which can be nice, but it can make it harder to access.
Yeah, like you said, like when you just reach out to people, like myself, I've had conversations with people recently, which just like, just need a bit of advice. Like, how would you approach this? Like, from your background, what would you do? And just sometimes just that 30 minutes, an hour, even if it's like at lunchtime or something, have a coffee, have your cup of tea, have your squash, I don't know, have a glass of wine if it's a Friday. Like, you just get a lot from that. It doesn't need to be we'll meet every Tuesday at 10 o'clock for whatever. It's just spitballing, because you'll be at different kind of crunch points in your career where you hit these little bumps. You're like, I just need somebody to talk about, and whether that's inside your company or externally, you just need that outsider opinion to just get you there. So definitely just ask. LinkedIn's a great thing. Even just following people as well. Obviously we talk about this stuff all the time, that just following people on there, seeing the stuff that they talk about, you might not be directly engaging with them, but just seeing when people post like, oh, I've struggled with this, I've done that, and then this happened, just seeing that actually, you know what, other people have got these problems too. It makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with what's going on.
Different perspectives. It takes you out of your own thinking space for a while in your day to day, and especially on those bigger topics or those more sort of innovative conversations where different outcomes are happening in different companies all the time, and you're like, well, maybe it's not such a scary conversation, or maybe it's not a bad question to ask HR if I can have funding for this or an opportunity to do that. And
don't ask, don't get, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I'd say like network in advance, right? You're gonna want mentorship throughout your career. I have about 5 people that I would class as a mentor. I've not really given them any of the badge that says you are my mentor. Actually, one of them I have. But they definitely are mentors to me. But I've found them through networking. And I kind of look at networking. You've got networking for your job. So if you're an underwriter or a broker, you're going to network with people that help you do your job in your line of business and your role. But then there's what I describe as networking for your career, where you're meeting people that are doing not similar roles to you, but across the industry or different stages to you. And that's often where mentorship can be really valuable, because there's no conflict of interest. They don't sort of have any kind of preconceptions over things that might be right for you, but instead they're more like organic advice that they're going to be able to give you. Yeah. So if you are just setting up a network that's broad and varied, then when you need that mentorship, you just have phone numbers of people you can ask for help.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It's about getting out there, making friends, working friends. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Happy Bieber fever is upon us. Have a wonderful couple of days. Hope you've got comfy shoes on.
Absolutely.
And we'll do this again.
Very good. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.